This one looks like it just sits in there. Nope. Is it plugged in? Yeah. So if it's not working, first check your plug. All right, so today we're roasting chicken, but first we gotta make our spice rub. This spice rub, we call it at the restaurant beef rib spice, because that's what it was developed for. But now it's kind of become our all-purpose seasoning. A little bit of sweetness, but a lot of savory notes that kind of can go in a lot of different directions. To start, what we need to do is toast our spices. We'll start with coriander. That just goes in the pan. Get your pan like a medium-high heat. Yellow mustard seeds. Black pepper, just standard black peppercorns. And this one we use quite a bit. It's prickly ash or Szechuan peppercorn. We don't use too much of it, so just a little bit in the background. You can do it on the stovetop, like medium-high heat, as I said, or you can pop it in the oven for a few minutes. All you really want to do is bring out the aromatics, kind of let those essential oils come out. So while that's going here, we'll get the rest of the things mixed up. These spices, they don't need to be toasted. They're in powder form. This is just a standard kosher salt. So that goes in. Granulated garlic, which is a little different than powdered. Granulated onion, kind of the same thing. Not powdered, a little more texture than a powdered onion. We have a brown sugar. And this is smoked paprika. You could use non-smoked, but definitely not cayenne, in my opinion, for this rub. The smoked paprika's got a little heat to it, but it's really there just as balanced. We'll get these spices toasting. They're almost there. You'll know they're there when you just kind of start to smell the aromatics being released. So we could go all day about spices. The spice importing industry, unfortunately, is pretty opaque. At least whole, you really know you're dealing with that spice. So whole spices really, at least you're starting at a higher level. I'm starting to smell the aromatics being released from this spice mixture. If you had to choose like to under toast or over toast, I definitely go with under. So we'll just get this guy mixed up. You don't need to put it in a mixer or anything like that. You just really want to break it up. All we need to do here is like get these spices ground up. Our beef rib spice will be done, or as my friend Adam likes to call it, yacht spice. Because if you're on a yacht, it's really all you need. So I'm gonna just transfer this to a small bowl. It'll make my life easier when I'm trying to get this in the grinder. And then I'm just gonna do it in batches. I tend to go no more than halfway to 2/3 up the spice grinder. All right. And you kind of want this to be pretty fine. My goal is to get it close to the same, like we talked about texture. So I think what we wanna do is like get it all to the same texture. So when we're seasoning, we're not having big pieces flying around. All right, cool. We're pretty much there. So I'm gonna take this off, get this in here. Last round, so we are almost there. Perfect. You can kind of start to hear it when the spices stop rattling, kind of get a little more smooth sound. You're there. Seems like a huge amount, but at this point, it can just like hang out in your pantry, put it in a little deli container, and it'll just hang out. And you can just, this can be substituted in anything you're cooking. In a sense, if you were gonna season it with salt, try a little bit of this. So that is good to go. So you kind of see the color, super beautiful. The texture is there, easy to season with. And now we'll move on to prepping the chicken. Today, we're gonna use chicken leg quarters. What we're gonna do is kind of take it off the bone a little bit, not debone it, just kind of open it up. And what that's gonna allow is us to season it well, but more importantly, it's gonna cook evenly. So all I'm gonna do is get into this thigh bone and run my knife kind of right down the bone there. The same thing on the other side. Just angle my knife away, work down towards the bone, and just like opening that up. So it's starting to like just flatten out a little bit. So right here, right now, if I didn't do that to the drumstick, this would cook slower than the thigh. So we just wanna open that up as well. That's the real reason, get that skin contact. So that's opened up, good to go. We'll put it onto paper towel. What that'll do is draw out the excess moisture in the chicken skin. And when we put it into the pan, that moisture won't be there to cause the chicken to steam. So we're just gonna get straight like sear golden deliciousness. While you're getting ready to season it, get your pan preheated. Start kind of high. So making sure I can see what I'm doing. I'm not gonna get down super low and clump up my seasoning. It's gonna seem like it's really a lot of seasoning, but remember, it's not 100% salt. We're only seasoning one side, or the bottom, the skin. If we season that, put it in the pan, and those spices would burn. Little bit of oil in the pan, grab it by the drumstick and kind of put it in away from you. Lightly put it there. I hear that nice sizzle. I'm good to go. Just gently put it in there. So I can kind of see a little bit of crisping happening on the edges here. Once we know the skin is starting to brown and we have good heat established here, I'm just gonna transfer it to the oven at about 450 degrees. Make sure you have an oven-safe pan, obviously, but I'll put this directly on the bottom of the oven with no shelf, and that's gonna directly make contact with the bottom of your saute pan, allowing that skin to stay cooking and getting crispy. You could take another pan that's smaller than this, or a lid, and just kind of place it on top of that. And you hear that like kind of bubbling sound? That is the moisture in the skin coming out. I'm just gonna take this, pop it in the bottom of the oven. I'm not even gonna look at that chicken for about 7 minutes. And what I don't wanna do is open the oven, peeking at it, cooling down the oven, and then we'll start on our glaze. We have a pineapple juice. This is Chinese black vinegar. This is the kimchi juice, the kimchi liquid, and then we're using ketchup. So you see that, it's pretty thick. That viscosity is gonna make a nice glaze for us. Some brown sugar, and then we're just gonna get that reducing. So chicken's in the oven, glaze is on the stove. Next thing we're gonna do is get our vegetables ready. So just soften butter and the red miso. This doesn't need salt at this point, again, so you're not ending up with something super salty that you can't then control. We can always add, but it's really hard to take it away. And all we do is just bash it up. And a wooden spoon will do it. You don't need to get out the KitchenAid or whatever. It's not that complicated. We're not gonna cook our vegetables with it. We're gonna finish it with it, so we keep that miso on the top. We don't want the miso to burn, because it will get bitter. That's good to go. So what I like to do with the corn, just kind of fun, I like to split it lengthwise. Just kind of get the knife in there. Just gonna put my hand here and just give it a little tap. And then I'm gonna work my knife down. So I'm straight there. I'm getting this hand out of the way, no accidents. And then straight through. And then I'll do the same thing on this side. Cool. We have a little bit of vegetable oil, just a little drizzle, and all this is for is to create something for our seasoning to adhere to. And we'll use our yacht spice because it's delicious, and just lightly season that. And baby bok choy, we'll just do that in half. Touch of oil, just a little yacht spice. So I'm gonna just pop this in the oven, check on the chicken, which should be pretty much there. All right, cool. And we're just gonna peek at the skin. And look at the skin is like money. At this point, I don't need the lid on this anymore. I know my skin is crispy. I'm gonna say 3 more minutes and then we're good to go. And veg, we can just go in on the top shelf. It'll be hotter up there. All right, chicken looks good. Firm to the touch, but doesn't feel like a basketball. Corn looks good, just kinda not super dark, but just cooked. Baby bok choy is ready. Our glaze is glazy. Again, like you saw all that we started with, we only end up with maybe less than 2 cups. Just gonna glaze that up. Set it on the plate, platter. And then we have our veggies. It doesn't need a ton of this butter because the butter is very strong. Just a little bit to give it that something special. On the side, just got chives, a type of red frill mustard. And I think for this, we're not trying to add another layer of acidity and sweetness at this point. So something super simple that I like to do is just fresh lime and then just like the smallest amount of sesame oil. To tie it all together, we can season this with a little bit of yacht spice, shingle it, whatever, side plate. salad. So good, simple, easy. You made it all. All right, cool. So check out the chicken. Skin is still crispy. Kind of see, like, since we cooked it only on one side, we're not toughening up that flesh side. It's awesome. Savory from the yacht spice. A little bit of sweet and sour with the glaze and our corn. Kind of like super easy to eat like this, portioned. Miso butter's bomb. For the recipe, click on the link below. Don't forget, you have that yacht spice, that seasoning rub you can use in a variety of ways. You have your glaze that can be applied in a lot of other things. And that miso butter that is gonna be your secret weapon. So stock your pantry, try these little tricks, tips, whatever you wanna call it, just to boost some flavor. Simplify your cooking experience and end up with something delicious.